I get to be normal.
And you don't get a mask.
Oh, look at you working so hard. Look at you working out so. Oh, here I go.
You're working so
Hi,
hard.
look at what I got. I got.
Welcome to the Christel Crawford Show. What's up? Well, my special guest this week is Miss Stephanie Richardson. And we couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. I didn't want to.
I love this. Wait, if you go like this, will they? They do. They Google. No.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I thought I breathed fire with this. Oh, this is my normal outfit.
That's normal.
Yeah.
She wakes up that way.
Yeah. Yay.
So our topic today is how to succeed while failing at everything.
Oh, I'm Jay Leno.
I don't even know if you can turn this off now. You may.
Is this the whole time? It's really distracting, and I'm working so hard.
So,
right.
This isn't really so much of like a guest interview thing as much as it is just a conversation. We, Steph came up with, will you tell where do we want to start?
What? This?
I want to talk about 22 things that may or may not have anything to do with the topic.
I'll give you a suggestion or a request like you requested from someone else earlier. Start in the middle.
Okay. So we were talking this morning. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Lisa. And you started telling me a story about birds.
Okay. So we were looking at creating. And how do we...
It didn't start with birds.
It didn't start with birds. We were actually looking at buying property. And one of the things, but I'm looking for the thread that actually got us to birds.
Right. So
I know what the birds thing is about.
Well, you started talking about this morning about like we talk about a lot about ask and receive, and
That's true.
It's a thing. We do a lot of energy pulls around that thing. Mm-hmm. But you came up with this different awareness of how ask and receive could actually be. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it started there, and then it went to birds. And
it did.
So,
yeah. So okay. In order to get to this with all of you guys, what I would really like for you is to think of something for a moment, not for a moment, think about something that you would actually like to create in your life. So one of the things that this came up around is both Christel and I saw an advertisement or an email advertisement for a property that's actually in the neighborhood that I currently live in. And the property that we both saw and went, yeah, that is a live-work situation in a new part of my neighborhood. So a new, what are those called? We call them hamlets here.
New development.
A new development, a new phase of the development. There you go. So it's a new phase of the development. So they're building out all these beautiful houses. They're building out apartments. They're building out townhomes. And they're building out a complex that has all these health and wellness things in it, a pool, and these live work spaces. So in each one of these areas in the neighborhood, we have live work spaces. And when both Christel and I saw them separately, we went,
that's a yes.
That's a yes.
So
now,
then, so the question for me always becomes like, well then how do you go about actualizing a yes? Like, and I've done this before where I've been a yes for lots of things that I don't necessarily go forward and actualize. Mm-hmm. So it's a different, so there's something about this particular ask, and I'm going to put this out there, like there's something about this particular ask to me that I've put in the bigger category where, and I didn't preface.
Bigger than a pizza.
Bigger than a pizza. And so therefore something works different about this ask than it does, like wanting to go to like get a coffee.
This is where we do significance.
Right.
Because it costs several $100,000 more than a pizza, it must be more significant than a pizza.
And so this is kind of where the conversation got around to, which is like, well, what if it wasn't? And so this is where the birds came in.
Yeah. And so in this particular case, it is easier to just use this example for some reason. So in this case, what I was aware of is the house that we're currently sitting in, the basement of, this was years ago. This was well beyond what I thought would be my financial means. Fast forward a couple years, and this house and the universe tricked me. It was a total trick into being able to afford it.
What do you mean?
And so this is what I was looking at with the conversation that we're having today. So what I know is that it is actually possible to have things that are beyond what you currently think that you can create. I have proof of that for myself. But you're going to need your own proof because you won't believe my proof. And that's how things work. You'll never believe what other people, you have to have it for yourself. So what I was looking at is I was like, hey, Christel, so if you actually...
Hi, guys.
So if you actually go, okay, cool. Is this a yes for you? So for that thing you're looking at right now, is it a yes for you?
Yeah, right. So we were looking at the live workspaces initially, and I was like, yeah, it's a yes.
Cool. So when it's a yes, what do? Just like sit there and go?
I'll tell you what I did first, because this may be where you go first, and I want to just start to kind of address that. So here's what I did first. It's a yes. And then I went into my brain, so I started to compute what it's going to take to have that live workspace. Well, I'm already eliminated. In this reality, I'm already eliminated, at least from my headspace.
Yeah.
For that thing that I say that I'm wanting.
Well, so here's a big trick. So one of the big tricks is that instead of going, what is it going to take to get this place? She started to ask a different question. Can I talk about that?
Yes.
Okay. So,
yeah.
So what she actually asked instead of, all right, cool. What's it going to take to get this live workplace? Question, universe, you deal with it.
I asked something about a mortgage.
She said, what's it going to take to get a mortgage?
Because I had already decided that was what it was going to take. So what's it going to take to have that thing that I've already decided that it's going to take? I mean, that's logical, right?
It is logical, but logic is not necessarily your best friend. Asking, what is it going to take to have this is a totally different question. So in my case, with this house, somebody else had offered to buy it for me. Well, that seems easy. Somebody else is going to buy it for me. Isn't that cool, you guys? Isn't that sweet?
And so here's this cool thing that you can do. So if we just stopped there, oh my God, somebody else offered to buy that. Well, I don't have that as a reality. So you can use, there's so many different ways that you can use other people's realities or what you don't currently have.
They didn't buy it for me, by the way.
She didn't, no. But we could have just stopped there and I've been like, well, I don't have that. So I have to, I just really saw this morning, like how many different ways we use to eliminate ourselves from possibility instead of actually going to the place where celebrating you, if that had occurred, right? Like celebrating that and then going, well, what would that be like for me? Like how could that show up for me? We actually use all that anyway. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So that didn't occur.
No. So, but this is where I say the universe in this house tricked me into being able to get this house. So I went, yay! So I started looking, right? Like I was like, I want to buy you a house. Okay. I began the search, but I already had a few places that I had sort of like looked at. So I looked again and was like, okay, well, I know I have certain elements that I've been looking at. I won't go into those here because that is a whole different conversation, which is also really fun. But so I had all these elements that I wanted in a house, so I kind of knew what those elements were, and I found this house, and great, is this amount of money, does this work? Yes, absolutely. I just sold a business, I have plenty of money, awesome, fabulous. Okay, well, oh, wait a minute, I just checked with my money people, I can't get that much money out. Cool. Well, if I put in half, does that work? Because I could put in half, easy peasy. Absolutely, totally works, fabulous. So now I have a person buying me half of a house, yay. Fast forward a little bit. Oh wait, I talked to my financial people. And my parents also went, who's buying you a what? No. No one is working for what the heck? Why? Why do these people have things against people being able to like give me stuff? Anyway, so that didn't match anybody's reality, right? Okay, so now all of a sudden, well, if I pay for all of it, does that work? Right? Well, yes, of course.
Can you give me a house if I pay for all of it?
If I pay for all of it, that's going to take all my cash. Can you put $10,000 as the earnest money, which basically is money that you put in, that if you basically back out on the deal, the person gets to keep it. Otherwise, it goes towards your purchase, right? Okay, so it was basically asking for nothing. It was like, can I have $10,000 for 3 weeks? Yes, absolutely. Did that pan out? That did not pan out. Each step along the way, though, because I had said yes, when the no's came, I went, well, that's interesting, because I said yes. How do I get around this? Where's the money going to come from? And each time I just kept asking. I kept the door open. And this is where this idea of the birds came along. So birds, whenever they're eating bird seed, right? Do they have the point of view of like, okay, so bird seed has to come in this form. Maybe I can borrow bird seed from someone.
There's only going to be this much bird seed. They only deliver bird seed at this time of the day, so I have to save this much, and then
maybe I can get there first. If I can get there first, so maybe I won't starve to death.
But I have to peck at a certain rate because
wait, should I eat more? Like, should I eat more than I can fly with? Right, like, so they don't do that.
They just peck.
They just go.
Or they don't.
There's bird seed, eat it. There's not bird seed, find bird seed somewhere else. That's it. Bird seed's gone from here. Where else am I going to get bird seed? There's never I'm just going to die.
Hi, Gloria.
Right? They don't just go like...
They just give up.
Fine, there's no more bird seed in this bird seed feeder. I guess I'm just going to go die. No, they just, literally, they're like, I know there's bird seed. I know there's worms. I'll get them. So this is where I started looking at for me, and this is the first time I was ever really cognitive of this keeping the door open, of not having any idea or clue where the rest of the money was going to come from, but knowing that I had said yes, and when I ask, I do receive. And so when you keep that door open, you go, cool, it could be from a loan, it could be I magically win the lottery, it could be that I work really hard, it could be how many things can I actually be aware of and add to my life that will allow this to happen. Allow this to happen. Not make this happen, allow this to happen. And so this is where it came to be like, all right, where you go, all right, cool, there is a certain amount of money that's required to make this thing happen. But when you go, universe, I have no idea where this money is going to come from. How about we have it from all the ways it can come from? And that's where I was like, yes, 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 yes. That sounds like a possibility. Yes,
birds.
Yes, yes. Birds. Literally being willing to eat from the possibilities that are available just because they're there without having the point of view of how you'll get them. And that's where the difference between I will get it because I will get a loan. Shit, nobody's going to give me a loan. I'm not worthy of a loan, right? Like financially, I have no way to prove that I can pay this back, and I haven't even lived in the country for right? That's the main problem. Like I haven't lived in the country. I don't exist as far as financial institutions are considering, right? That is this reality, our judgments include conclusions about ourselves, and our decisions that it can't happen. We've already decided it can't happen, not yet, only when. Like these are the things that I always look for. What are my only wins? If-thens, if-I-thens, like all of those ways that we make our reality dependent on other factors that other people will believe. And that's really like where I make myself the most at the effect of other people's realities, is when I need somebody else to believe that it happened that way. Otherwise, I can just go, I will do anything. Wonder what it's going to take.
And it was funny, when we were talking about this on the porch, and all of this, for those of you guys that are just joining, kind of came about when I was looking at, the possibility of getting into or purchasing a live-work space that's in her neighborhood, and just going, well, that's a yes. And immediately right after went into why it couldn't happen. And so that's how this whole conversation came about, and you were saying something, and I just forgot what my point was. My favorite thing about where that went was it was the simplicity with which you explained sort of the ask and receive that I know about, that I've talked about, that I wasn't applying here, and it was that simple of like, that's a yes, that creates possibilities. What is it going to take? And how many different places can it come from? And then that being it. Like really staying. And what I said after she said that was I was on a call with Shannon O'Hara, and she was talking about money. And, you know, this is a topic that I find fascinating for how it works, that you can't explain that it just works, because it works so different for each of us. And one of the things she invited the people on the call to do was just to stop thinking, which happened for exactly that long. And then for about 3 seconds we stopped, and then we started thinking again. And I was like, right. So I was like, oh, well, so the practice is actually not thinking. The practice is the not thinking.
I said yes.
That's it. So what is it going to take? And what can I be aware of? And what choices are of it? Like really just being in that space of, it's a yes.
10-second increments.
That's
First,
it.
don't think beyond 10 seconds.
No. So what now? And what now? And what now? And what now?
So what now?
What now?
What now?
You know how chickens
What
walk.
now? Yeah.
And really, when you look at it like that, we called the show How to Succeed While Failing and Everything. We have a call coming and a few others after that. What I find so fascinating about this topic is that it can go anywhere. This How to Succeed While Failing at Everything is like, that's a complete failing in this reality of being responsible, like doing your due diligence, like doing all the things you're supposed to do the things you want to do that, like, you know, weighs everything down. Whereas this, like, what's actually true for all of us is that reality doesn't work that way. Reality works the way it works for us. Or
yeah, in the process of getting this house, I failed at a relationship. I failed to get the funding from where the funding was supposed to come from. We even failed to get the earnest money in quote unquote on time. But do you know what the universe did? Like, this was so weird. My real estate agent and I looked at one another and we're like, it's due Wednesday. And the person that was supposed to do the $10,000 out of the entire price of the house, right? The money was going to come right back. That person did not turn it in by the due date. But do you know what happened? We checked. The real estate agent and I were like, shit, the money is due today. And we're like, okay, that may not happen. Well, we checked our email. You know what we found in the email? It wasn't due until the next day. But both the real estate agent and I were like, no, it was definitely due today. We know it was due today. Like, we remember reading it on the contract that it was due the next day, which meant the failure to turn it in created the end of the relationship, which was a gift, and also ended up creating a place where I had the $10,000, weirdly enough, through another source for the earnest money for the house. That was failing while succeeding. I succeeded in my request, in my ask, in my desire to create this house. That was still a yes. But all the things that were supposed to create it, fail. And I kept asking the question, like, I don't have to get this house. This house wasn't the entire way. It was like, well, I don't have to do that house. But I kept looking at my future if I chose it. And the future kept being so much bigger if I chose it. Up until the very end, it kept being a choice to choose something smaller the whole time. And I would have been okay with that. But when I looked at what it would create, so the choice wasn't for the house. And this is something that I've learned over and over again. The choice wasn't for the house. The choice was for a bigger reality. If I think the choice is for a house, then I'm stuck with the house being either a success or a failure. If I'm making the choice for a greater reality, every step along the way, if anything doesn't go the way that I plan for it to go, my question is just, well, staying with, I am choosing a greater reality. Is this it? Does this create a greater reality? Okay, I'm still going. Does this create a greater reality? Yes, well, I'm still going. Does this create a greater reality? Yes, I'm still going. Does this create a greater reality? Yes, I'm still going. Does this create a greater reality? Not second guessing, not doing doubt. Doubt is a totally different animal. Asking again from doubt will destroy your future.
Can you say more about that?
So I really had the demand that I was choosing possibility And so my request is, I'm choosing possibility. Does going in this direction still create possibility? Not still. Does going in this direction create possibility? Yes. The whole thing about 10-second increments is that the universe will guide you to greater possibilities than you think you are aware of, than you think are possible for you. That's what I'm actually trying to say. The universe will take you places that you think are impossible for you. So if you just make the demand for something greater, and as you're heading there, just go, cool, does this still create greater possibility? Yeah, I'm on. So the easiest one, some of you guys may have heard me use this example before, going to dinner. So going to dinner, if you choose to go to a specific place for dinner, like if a place, you go, I'd love to go to dinner tonight, that'd be really fun. Where do we want to go? Where do you want to go? I want to go somewhere. Oh wait, a place just popped into my mind. Is that light? Would you like to go there? Yeah, light. Okay, let's go there. So now we have a place that was light. Okay, and this is using the tool light or heavy. What's light is true for you. What's heavy is not true for you. Also, what's light will lead to more lightness in your life. What's heavy will lead to more heaviness in your life. There's nothing wrong with either one. It's just a choice. But when you choose towards what's lighter, it creates more of that. So now we have a place in mind. We're going for dinner. It's this place called Sonoy. And they've got some like French inspired food and it's really tasty. Okay, so now we have this place in mind. Okay, now choosing now and following fucking through with your choice is that we're going there no matter what happens. Okay, now cool, that can create you getting there for dinner. If we're looking for what's light, what happens when a place pops up and we go, yeah, we're gonna go there. We're not choosing the place, we're choosing lightness. And when we choose lightness, we will continue to choose lightness. We go, okay, is this creating more lightness? Yeah, all right, we're still going. Now when we are on the road, we get in the car, because there's all sorts of stuff it takes to go, you know? She's got made up, you know, I'm putting on a dress I feel like fancy. Oh, this isn't a dress. But anyway, put on an outfit I feel pretty sexy in, and now we're on our way. We're in the car. But on the way, all of a sudden we see something on the side of the road. We see like roadside attraction, and it's like lights and popcorn and cotton candy.
Oh my God!
Ah! And all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, does that look like fun? That looks like fun. Okay, does it create greater? Yes! Okay, if your only target is the decision you've made, going to dinner at this specific place, you do not pull off and go to the carnival because that doesn't match your plan. If the whole time what you've been doing is heading towards possibility and heading towards lightness, when something changes, you follow that because what you know is you're heading towards greater possibility and more lightness, and that's what you're choosing. So the universe can guide you. I wouldn't have known about that. I did not look up roadside attractions with lights and
I can't believe you didn't
popcorn.
think to Google that.
I know, I'm sorry. But when we saw it, we knew we wanted to go, right? And so that is one of the ways that the universe can lead you to things that there is no way you would have had in your like repertoire. Like, I'm gonna choose this thing, you know, like.
So I don't know what it means that the live work place is a yes. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means I'm gonna live here. I don't know what that means. I know that it's a yes.
Yeah. And so choosing towards that lightness, the universe will support anything that the universe is not going to go, hey, how are you going to choose that? Good luck.
Good luck. Go. I ain't helping her. I don't know what. Are you helping? Nah, she's on her own.
Yeah, you better work hard for that. That's not. That's not actually how things work. So when you follow the lightness, know that it will come. Now, this could be 5 years down the road. She may not be the first owner. Who the freak knows, right? But it is light, so follow the lightness.
I could like go into a process of trying to get a mortgage. That's not light. But I'm just saying, there could be so many different other things that come out of this that we don't even know yet. That if just following the one yes that I have right now is gonna show more. Yeah. And that's it.
Exactly. And so when you get to the yes, know that the yes is a yes, and just keep going. Cool. How? What? But but not from your brain how, not to the thinking
this
how.
This is the thing. So if there was
I don't know how to use the word other than how, right? I would if I could.
Well, so if you could get anything out of this call today from my point of view, it would be turn off your brain. Prosciutto. Yes, Renata. Very good.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes. What else?
Yes.
What now? What now? What now? What now? And then you just literally just keep choosing and you just keep following. And what I love about everything you said is that even though this is second nature to you, it's not to a lot of us to constantly be asking, like, does this create greater? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Like, really keep asking, does this create what I would say, does this create greater possibility? Does this create more? Yes or no? Yeah. So, Kathy, in answer to your question, keep asking questions or let it go. One of the things I notice a lot of people use asking questions for is to find out whether or not they're making the right choice. And that's not what you're talking about.
I'm not.
So...
yeah, you can do either. I mean, when it came down to the very last day when that $10,000 didn't come in, I was like, wow, okay, this is the last chance for me to actually... I knew that wasn't exactly true either, but for the sake of the story, let's just go. This money doesn't get turned in today. I don't have this house, okay? So in that moment, Kathy, my choice really was, well, ask questions, let it go. If you want to say that that's an or. To me, letting go is just an additional option in my list of things I can choose. And so in that moment, what I did was I went back through, and again, I don't know how to get anybody out of the whole doubt, because I see a lot of people use asking questions as just a justification to add doubt that their choice is what they want to choose. And that's another conversation. I didn't have doubt. What I had was, is this still the option that creates what I'm asking for?
Yes.
Because right now what I'm looking at is, this was not the financial thing I thought I was agreeing to. This is not what I thought I would be doing. I did not think I'd be doing this alone. This creates a really different future than I thought I was signing up for. Let me look at all the other options that I still have on the table. I could get this one. It's only this much money. It's, $160,000 less, and it has this kind of space. I could get this one. This one has a garage. Look at the energy of it. Do any of these create the lightness that you're aware of with the other house? No. And I am choosing the lightness. Again, not the house, the lightness.
And the other thing I want to add to the lightness is that, yes, choosing here, another place where I see people really fuck themselves over is it doesn't feel light, like solidifying that feeling in their body. You don't actually do that. You do something else. And one of the ways that I recommend or invite...
yeah, because it didn't feel easy.
Like, it's not that it feels easy. It's not that it feels like super duper fun.
No.
Or exciting. It's something else.
In that last moment, in that last moment, I was like, this is going to demand of me something I'm actually kind of not comfortable with. That's actually what happened at the last moment. I have to create more if I choose this.
And that you could have judged that was heavy.
Absolutely, because it was not comfortable. It did not make me go, oh yay, I've got to choose so much bigger. Bleh! No, it wasn't that at all. But when I actually went, what will my life be like in 20 years if I choose this? And I got a sense of it. And I went, what will my life be like in 20 years if I don't choose this? And I was like, yeah, the other one looks so similar. And that was the thing. The other one was just up the road. It was also a nice place. It did not create the future that this one did.
So you could have logicked yourself into the other place.
Oh my God, I tried. I tried. But when I looked at what will it create, it did not create what I desired. It did not create what I desired to create on the planet, even though the other one matched something that was so familiar and easy and comfortable. I could have paid for it for years without ever working. It would have been so easy, so easy. This one was not as easy, but what it created as a future was light. Ugh. And it is such a different It's such a different, this house is a different reality.
Yeah.
Well, no. This house is not a different reality. What I've chosen to create with this house is a different reality. That's actually true. Make sure you acknowledge what's actually true. It's not that outside things are creating your future. It's that you're choosing a future, and that the universe and the things of this earth will contribute to you and to that as a reality. And that's actually what's true.
So we're over time, which is
Sorry.
fine. No, it's good. This is if you guys got anything out of this conversation, share it with your friends, because I get that there's a lot of confusion around this topic of light and heavy and choosing and asking and receiving. There's a lot of differing information and opinions. And so anyway, and if you'd like more, like we're doing a $5 call next Saturday. Which is crazy, and we're crazy. And we'll do more after that too if you want more. We're going to really break this off into the different areas, because both of us get like it's required. So anyway, thank you for being live with us. I'm so grateful, and if you want more, you know where to go. Well, we'll put a link. We'll make sure that you can go where you want to go, and
in all the ways,
that
that could mean.
Yeah. We'll see you guys later. Thank you. Bye.